welcome back everybody to Let's Talk About It. We are your lovely hosts, Gile
Oratile
and Kuzo. This podcast is basically three girls walking through life, sharing our thoughts and ideas. We start discussions, ask the whats, hows, and whys of life, and then we talk about it. Ora, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good this evening. Very excited for today's episode.
Great. I'm doing really good.
What now, Ora? No, because she's like, great.
So
how are you doing?
like we had a meeting before this, so I'm trying to Okay, anyways. Kuto, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited for the podcast today.
Yes.
This episode's gonna be so fun.
Episode actually I actually thought about it last week when we were doing episode 15. I hope you guys watched that one. We're like on the 16th episode, and I remember when we did the 10th one, we were like celebrating because we're like, okay, we've kind of like did a milestone. Right now I'm at like after episode 13 or 12, I don't know where I am anymore. Like I have to when we're editing, then I have to be like, what episode are we doing? What episode is this? Like I'm kind of like in the middle.
You're
of
not
nowhere.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do when we get to episode 25.
I
You know what I
understand
mean?
you.
Like
It's like although we have a whole plan, and stuff,
Yes.
it's like your mind is not really.
your mind is going through the motion. We're talking, but when it comes to numbering the episodes, you're like, really?
That's crazy.
60? You know what I
I
mean?
didn't even know we were doing 15 last week.
Look at
I
that.
thought we were doing 12. I was
That's
like,
what I'm telling you.
I was like, so
we're
for
in a
episode 12,
whirlwind.
what are we doing? And she's like, no, girl,
It's 15.
So,
Yeah. Sorry.
But anyway, as you guys know, we recently started a new series called The Mental Check. And this series is all about our thoughts, our minds, and the ideas that shape who we are. Sometimes we talk about things that we don't normally say out loud, the questions we ask ourselves when we are alone, the thoughts that show up late at night, and the things that make us reflect a little deeper. And today's topic is pathfinder. So the term pathfinder was created by my uncle, their dad.
But I don't think he created it. The phrase is there, but he definitely revolutionized it. He uses it everywhere.
With everything.
So I feel like it's his now.
Yeah, hashtag Tipapa
It's his.
for this podcast
Yes.
episode.
To explain it simply, it's when you choose to do something that hasn't really been done by your family, your friends, or even your community. It's about stepping into unknown spaces, creating opportunities when there weren't any before, and choosing a direction that people around you may not fully understand yet. A really good example of this is what Moana went through when she decided to leave Mutunui and follow the ocean towards something bigger than what she had always known. And today we just want to talk about the feelings, fears, loneliness, pressure, and the growth that pathfinders often experience while trying to create something different for themselves and for the people who come after them. So, okay, we're gonna go into some stats and facts. I'm pretty sure everybody knows it's a new segment we've started. So, pathfinders and trailblazers, whether in leadership, business, education, faith, or personal growth, often experience very different challenges compared to people following more traditional or familiar paths. People who step into unknown spaces often build deep resilience because they are forced to navigate uncertainty and make difficult decisions without clear guidance. Trailblazers usually experience more risk and pressure in the early stages of their journey because there is no guaranteed roadmap for success.
Sure.
Studies on leadership and innovation show that people who take unconventional paths often create long-term impact for future generations, and even if their journey feels lonely at
Sure.
first. Pathfinders also tend to experience growth, strong personal growth, because they are constantly learning, adapting, and overcoming challenges in unfamiliar environments. And guys, I'm sorry. Interestingly, many trailblazers become sources of inspiration and opportunity for others simply because they are dared to go first. So, being a pathfinder is not just about success, it's about courage, vision, sacrifice, and the willingness to keep moving even when the destination is unclear.
Sure.
That sounds so wow. Like it's if you're a pathfinder, you are the one. Like there's so many people that
Not that
probably
Sorry.
yeah, like what she said, pathfinders are the ones, not the twos. But I think for me, sorry. I knew it wasn't asked the question, but it just felt right for me to say something after she read it.
No, you can. Like, you want to add, we can reflect on the, obviously reflect on the
Yes.
the stats and facts.
Yes.
But it's obviously going to be something that we're going to go into in our questions. And
Yes.
so,
It's just good to just sometimes have
yeah,
a
like
bit of an
really
idea.
reflect on what was said instead of
I
just
think
like
it just
read
hit
it.
me like after you read the whole thing, like a pathfinder, because my dad always uses pathfinder in like his day-to-day language. So I didn't understand the further, like the deeper meaning of what a pathfinder is. I just knew it because it's used so like oftenly in my dad's, casual conversations that you realize actually a pathfinder is a serious deal. So shout out to you. Hashtag for you, Papa. But anyways, okay, ready for the questions?
Yes.
Please let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. But who to you is an incredible example of a pathfinder?
Believe it or not, I thought about this before we started because it's you, it's me. So I'm gonna say the person that I feel is an incredible example of a pathfinder. There's many more, many people, but I'm gonna go with Frida Kahlo. It's that lady I was showing her yesterday. We were at a store, and she's an artist. She was an artist, because R.I.P. I feel she's such a great blazer in, especially in arts. If you know that who that is, she was incredible in creating, because art is abstract, if you will. Everybody has their own meaning, have their own approach to it, and at that time I believe that art was a bit more, these things that they considered art. And she was one of those artists. She did a lot of self-portraits. Well, a lot of her art was self-portraits because she believed that she was her own inspiration. And for me, somebody who's able to look at herself in that way and never mind other people saying that, because when you look at yourself and you are very sure of who you are, it can come off very arrogant
Or
egotistic. Very egotistical, very self-centered, and people are like, why are you so into yourself? But for her to do it so unapologetically and do it so, especially in that time, and just like go and be like, I don't care what anybody says, because that's really
No,
miniature
I
laser
get that.
is doing something that people are not very familiar with, and what scares people, and doing it it looks effortless, but we all know. But I feel that's 1% for me.
Mm.
One of the people.
Wow, you have a very incredible example of this.
I also thought about this beforehand, and when I thought of like a trailblazer, like I had two names in mind. One of them was Moana. I think yeah, as a child, just watching that, it really just did something in my brain chemistry. But the one that actually came to mind at first was actually Nelson Mandela. I just thought about this idea of being in a country where something is a norm. You understand what I'm saying? And you know it's wrong, and choosing to, like dream for something more. I feel like sometimes it's very hard to dream about something that you're not even sure exists. I mean, if I think of my life, I've lived my life for 21 years with this norm, whatever the norm is. And for someone to come into my life, for me to think of the norm as being wrong, but have even a dream of what could it look like if it was good. Like, I feel like every single time I listen to what his dream was, for South Africa, it's like when I look at it, I'm like, there's no possible way he could have known. I think in that time, the best dream to have would have been like, I just wish there wasn't apartheid. I just wish like we weren't separate. But to have a dream where white and black people can call each other brothers and really see the love for one another is brave. It takes a lot of courage. And so for me, my example for a pathfinder is Nelson Mandela. That's who I'm going to stick with. But I do want to say that Moana was also a lot in my head when I thought about it. Yeah. And for you, Kutu?
That's very nice. You guys are so iconic. Really iconic. Anyways, I think for me, a pathfinder that I have found to be legendary baddie, if I may say, and absolutely astonishing. And I love always to listen to their story. It never gets old. I listen to their story over and over again. Because it's just so inspirational. And for me, it's my mom. And I think because when you listen to
I was also gonna say that. I stand with her. I just
let her have that one.
Yeah,
You let her
yeah.
have
I
that
knew
one.
she's gonna say
You like
yeah.
something. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Go
get a
on.
load of this guy. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I definitely think my mom is my the perfect example of a pathfinder. If you didn't listen to our previous podcast, episode number 15, please definitely go ahead and listen to it because my mom shares incredible wisdom there. Though she's the perfect example for me for a pathfinder because in her journey, she made...
Before we started the podcast, Kutu was like, she wants to look casual in this episode. So she put this pillow here to be casual.
Because she was looking at the one
The previous
Because she
videos
was
and
sitting
she's
like
always
this.
like, You know? So she's like, I want to be casual. So she puts a pillow. And then she says to us, she's like, I want to look so casual. Can I put my hands like this? And we say she looks like she's going to get her nails done.
Now
So-
she landed on this. So I didn't know what she was gonna go with. So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to her and I look at her hands. I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to keep it together, but I couldn't. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Please continue.
there is a situation where they always tell me how uncasual I look in the podcast. They claim I look like a news reporter, and I think news reporters are amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
But they say
It's
news
just
pro-
the unfortunate part is that we're not,
News
delivering
anchors.
news on the weather. So
So
it's
they
kind of
say-
tough.
They say because news reporters, when they present any information, they have a formal sitting arrangement, and they claim that I have a formal sitting arrangement. And I promise, I'm not doing it on purpose.
No,
I'm
that's why
trying
it's funny.
to look so
It just
casual.
lands into that. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
when
know
I
how
saw
they
the
No,
heads.
focus.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, to go on. You were saying something so powerful.
I don't know
right
what to do with my hands now.
No, it's okay. I'm
To put it underneath my thighs.
now. You were saying
Is
now.
this casual?
Yeah. You're fine. You were sharing now about Mama.
Oh yes. Okay, I'm casually seated. But okay. Yes, so I think my mom is definitely the perfect example for me for a pathfinder, because if you listen to her story, she's been through so much that she has achieved things that took her the first step. No one made that first step for her, and she didn't have an example in her own family that she could necessarily reach for a goal or for a dream that was achievable, that she could look at someone in her life and say they could do it, so I could, right? So I think she's an incredible example because she made it possible all on her own, literally. Of course, there were people in her path that definitely contributed to her final destination, but in the beginning, originally it was just her, and she just had her dreams, which she picked up probably obviously from everywhere, but not necessarily where most of us these days could see maybe an influencer that is living the dream that we want, or maybe a neighbor, or someone's friend, I don't know, but I'm saying
There's always someone actually in reach
exactly
that has what you're looking for.
exactly
And
and
she
I
didn't
think
have that.
she didn't have that. Everything was just from everywhere, and though she made that everywhere become her own life. And I think that's what a true pathfinder is all about, making the unrealistic, the imaginary become your reality. Because I feel the most incredible pathfinders are the one that made the impossible possible. If I think of a pathfinder, at least. But let us know who's your pathfinder. Oh. Anyways, why do you think loneliness is such a huge part of finding your own path?
No, I think most definitely loneliness is a key ingredient in the recipe of pathfinding, because no one in your life has done this thing, has experienced this thing, sometimes even believes this thing. And I think that through pathfinding you learn to be okay with, I'm the only one who's done this, and I have to figure it out for myself, and that's okay. So I think I think to find the path, you need to come out of the paved road to walk into untouched territory. And it's untouched because nobody's done it, nobody's walked. I mean, like in your community, obviously maybe someone out there has, but sometimes no one has. But you have to be willing to sometimes walk alone to find that path. That's why when I think of Moana, like her whole village, they were used to this specific lifestyle, She had to leave. She was in the sea alone. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. What characteristic as a pathfinder, because I think we're pathfinders here on this seat, is a characteristic you would like to embody and have?
Courage. Bravery. Because to be a pathfinder, you have to automatically stand out. You can't look like everyone. You can't do what everyone does. You have to follow literally your own path. So you don't necessarily have anyone with you. You're doing it by yourself. So I think definitely if you're brave and you have courage, you're gonna do great.
Delusion. I hope I continue having delusion. I hope not delusion in a sense of, you know, being a little woozy or a little crazy about stuff. But the thing with delusion, it helps you dream big. I feel when you're sitting late at night and having, you know, all the thoughts and all the dreams of where you'd like to be in life, or seeing yourself in rooms that are big, you need a certain level of like imagination, which comes with delusion, which is a good thing. A lot of people, how can you want something that you can't really envision, or something that you can't really see? At least you have to understand it. At least you. I mean, not everybody around you will understand it, but at least you. So I feel a little bit of delusion can get you really far. So I'm gonna go with.
But
delusion.
do you think it's more exciting?
Sorry, I also wanted to answer.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. For me, resilience. I think that taking the first step is always so easy, but it's the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, and it's that, you know, like, because I said now, it's the long walk to freedom. It's this journey. It doesn't start here, it doesn't end here. And I just hope that I'm resilient enough and persistent to keep on showing up. I'm gonna say this now because I know for a fact I'm gonna need some form of evidence that I did say this. I've applied to Baylor twice, and they waitlisted me and rejected me twice. And I keep saying this, I'm coming, right? And I was listening to this girl's video literally this morning, and she said she did Miss USA 5 times before she won it. She won it on the 6th time. And Thomas Edison, he did the light bulb 99 times before he got it right. How many of us are willing to show up even when things keep going wrong? Not many. It's easy, I think, when it comes to pathfinding, to try something once, twice, and if it doesn't work out, hey, it is what it is. But and one thing I also don't like, that people like to say, you know, maybe this just wasn't meant to be. It's meant to be, because I said it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't come to me with the universe. I'm telling the universe it's meant to be. I said this is how it's gonna happen. Because I said it, I'm gonna do it. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I feel like with pathfinding, everybody got an opinion on what the limit is, how far you can go, how many you can do. What if I can do one more? What if I can do one more? How do you know? How do you know I can do one more? You don't know that. And I feel like with pathfinding finders, we find that a lot, where everyone just tells you stop, quit, give up, stop going. Whose opinion is this? Isn't it my life? Can't I decide how many times I choose to show up? Because you know what, at the end of the day, when I'm on my deathbed, you won't be there to face regret's ugly face with me. It's just gonna be me and my decisions. And you know what? I'd rather have a billion failures behind me than one regret ahead of me. I had to say it. Because I just know. I'm gonna be at Baylor. I'm gonna be sicking everyone, and I'm gonna come back to this video, episode 16, and remember the seat that I was sitting. Because you know what? Even when they sent me that, I remember looking at it thinking, for now. Sometimes you're just not right. You're just not right now. That's the quote by Kanye West. But that's the quote. It seems impossible until it's done. Every single time you start something, that's what pathfinders go through. There's someone out there who has a dream that they're not even sure if it exists. You have a dream that you're not sure if that even exists. And you have to be brave to try, delusional to keep on going, and resilient to show up even when everyone tells you stop showing up. But what I want to ask you guys is, who are you showing up for? Who are you finding the path for?
I will say, when you're finding a path, right, as a pathfinder, it's very easy to, obviously in the beginning it's you know, it's something that you want. But the thing with that is that not only are you opening a path for yourself, but those who come after you. So if I'm speaking for myself. When I think about the things that I want to achieve or places and rooms that I want to walk in, I'm thinking somebody after me needs to see that and be like, well, I want to do that. I also, if she did it, I want to do it too. And I think it's one of the most, I would say, scary. That's why we said a little bit of fear, is because, okay, then I don't do it. That's what I'm saying. I think I was saying earlier, I continue to sit here. I continue to sit here with all of us. We talk all the time, okay?
Have you noticed?
We have conversations all the time, obviously off camera, but I continue to come back here and sit here, even when I feel a little bit tired, but I convince myself that I'm not tired. Because every time we go back to our videos, we don't have a lot of views yet, but the people who do watch our videos and support us, I always feel like, well, I need to sit here and talk, because somebody out there is serious, taking us seriously. I don't need 100 people to take me seriously. If just one person takes me seriously,
that's enough.
I'm happy, because I feel I wanted to say something about something my mom always said, but I forgot about it. When I remember, I'll tell you. But for now, that's all I wanted to say. I think it's your turn to answer.
You know what she's doing? She forgot what the question is. So she's looking at me, and then I knew what she wanted, and I forgot the question too. So now I'm looking away. She's looking at me, and Ola's like, and we both trying to recuperate. I think that question. Who are you doing this for?
I think I'm having
Yes.
Who are you doing this for? That was the question.
Thank you.
Over to you, Mike.
Okay.
I think
So so she thinks first.
I think it's very important to ask yourself who are you doing it for, because I think, as Ratile mentioned, with the journey to finding your path, it is a very, very difficult journey and a very long one, because you have so many obstacles and challenges that take time for you to overcome on your own. Sometimes, obviously, there are people who have people that help them get through these things, but I think when you're doing it because you know that this is where you're supposed to be, and you understand that this is the only path for you, then I feel that that's what makes it more, I want to say, interesting, but as well as easier. I think living or walking a life that is about other people, it's the most is the most extremely difficult path to walk, because everyone always has something to say, but I think that when you are the one that walks the path for yourself, it's the best kind of path. And I think it's important because it helps you survive when things get really difficult.
Did you guys see that? She didn't answer the question. Right. But I brought a different perspective. Yeah.
To the question.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah, I didn't have a response for the question, but it gave me a different perspective, actually, because of what Ora said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think obviously in the beginning when you do it, you hoping that it's gonna benefit you. But yeah, it's definitely for the people behind you and the person in front of you. Because we are who we are because of the people who walked before us.
Yes.
But we also becoming who we want to become for the people behind us. Because, you know, for me, it's going to be such a beautiful thing for me. Like, you know, like sometimes I do this a lot, right? I'll be looking at stats or listening to okay, if I think of like in America, you know, Beyonce is really doing it for the black girls. She's really done it. She's revolutionized and opened doors for other black singers and you know, yeah. And then I think of my country and I think, who's done it for us? You know, we are borrowing other countries' legends to show us it's possible. But how many of our people in our country have someone in like in our country?
I can understand your example.
Yes, you know, some young girl can say, you know, I want to be like, and this is the South African lady who's doing it for the South Africans. So
No, I'm thinking about
Tyler. Yes, it just came to me now as well. So I think for me, I would love to be a Michelle Obama for my country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some black women that other black women and girls can say, she did it.
And she's like us.
She's like me. You know what I mean? She's from here. She grew up in Limpopo. You know, I feel like me and her, we have similarities. Yeah, so I feel like obviously it's that, but I don't think I think about that as much now. It's like the macro, the grand scheme in the bigger picture. That girl, I want to do it for her. But that's in my head, I'm dead by then. You know? It's like I want to have look at Nelson Mandela. He's possible, but we still reaping his fruits.
Or think about the guy who made KFC. He's long gone,
and
but
we are still reaping.
we can
his
still
fruits.
like look at his ethical work and his hard work, and you can think about him as an inspiration that chicken now is all over the world, you know, or KFC specifically the brand. But it was one guy.
And he did. You know what I also love about those kind of people? Nelson Mandela didn't have to personally know me to change my life. And I think sometimes, if you do your work right enough, you don't have to know everyone to change their lives. Just that. And I feel like then when someone goes and wants to know about my life later when I'm long gone, just that, the little mundane life I lived is a story enough to change someone's life. And how many stories can you think of where if you sit down and listen to that person's story, you can think, you get even goosebumps of just how much their story, their life story, and it sounds like it's a story, but that person lived that. How many of those stories can you say have changed your life? And you say, yo, that person's life makes me see there is a God, but also there is a story and a door that my fingerprint can unlock. Because everyone's fingerprint is unique.
Well, I think the viewers have to let us know what they think and what they've learned and what they've seen in their own paths that they're walking, and also the dreams and the hopes and dreams that you guys have, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so this little quote that I found it at 2 a.m. So when we say 2 a.m., we're not kidding. We're serious. Because at night, in like early morning, your mind just, I don't know if it's just me. It's probably just me. But I saw this video, I came across this video of this older lady, fabulous old lady, a 75-year-old woman. I don't know if maybe anybody has seen it, but if you have, it's that lady with like all white outfit. She looks really fabulous. So when you see her, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the guy who was interviewing, he asked her like a question about how is she so happy? Like how do we reach that level of like feeling so full type of thing? And I think it was something related to journey of life and finding what makes us happy. And I wrote this down because I found it so inspirational for me. So I wasn't gonna share this until like a speech as an alumni or something. But can you guys see this? Anyway, this is inspiring. The quote says, "You just need to be who God created you to be, and find your spiritual gift. What He gave you, not a talent, but what He gave you to further His kingdom. And when you do that, you'll just have the richest life." Why this quote was so important for me, or why I felt the need to write it down, is because we love to rely on physical things to make us, because we're all trying to find our purpose. I think that's the whole thing. And sometimes we feel like our purpose in life is physical things, our talents, and things that people can really be like, oh, she's good at this. But what about your gift that you are here to, even if it's to one person? That's what I was saying, like even one view, a person who's just watching our video, because he said, I will sit here and record the video because I understand how important it's for me as well, because I love doing this, but also giving back what you're here to share, because it's your own spiritual gift. But the interpretation of this can, be shaped within your life. So that's why I really love this quote.
Yeah, so before we finish, thank you, Lakini. So beautiful. I think you could support my yes. Yes. Thank you. So before we finish, I just want to encourage our fellow pathfinders who are currently walking a journey that, maybe people around you don't understand why you want to do what you want to do, or why you dream the way you dream, or the images you painted of the life you want to live, or things you want to achieve. And we just want to encourage you that have the courage to go first, and believe in yourself, and trust that that dream and that fire in your chest is real and is achievable. Keep building, keep growing, and keep paving your legacy. I'm gonna share the Nelson Mandela. I don't know, I probably said it, but it really always seems impossible until it's done. So have courage and take the first step and see how far it takes you. But thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, share with fellow pathfinders. And yeah, send this episode to the incredible people in your life. But thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Until next time, bye!